Call the meeting to order. Posted properly.
The meeting's been posted according to open meeting laws.
Roll call.
President Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Harding.
Here.
Commissioner Hayes.
Here.
Commissioner Letterhouse.
Here.
Commissioner Morath.
Either of you here for citizen participation? I don't think so. All right, then we won't do citizen participation since there's nobody else here. Move on to approval of minutes from April 14th.
I will motion to approve minutes.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, on to miscellaneous business. Item 1, conditional use for an indoor institutional land use for East Troy Middle School related to the construction of a new car drop-off and bus drop-off proposed to alleviate traffic on Graydon Avenue for property located at 3143 Graydon Avenue bearing tax parcel number RXUP 00202 East Troy School District, Christopher Garrity, AIA Performance Services, Inc., Agent Application 2025-09. So I'll open the public hearing. We have the memo here from Orrin. We've talked about this. This is to actually make this change. Orrin, is there anything else we need to highlight for the public hearing?
Just that we're all familiar with this use. The reason that we're having the conditional use permit application is that the zoning code currently allows this use as a conditional use in the residential zoning district that this property is zoned, which is the SR4 district. The school just wants to come into compliance and be conforming with the current code. So this is really a housekeeping issue.
Any comments from anybody in the audience or on the commission during the public hearing? Any comments? Last chance. Okay, I will close the public hearing. Item B, discussion of possible recommendation of the village board.
I'll make a motion to recommend to the village board the approval of the conditional use request for indoor institutional land use for East Troy Middle School and associated site plan and amendment for a new car drop-off and bus drop-off proposal at 3143 Graydon Avenue for East Troy Community School District for the property located at 3143 Graydon Avenue, subject to the following conditions 1 through 5.
I'll second that.
All right, questions or discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Item 2, site plan amendment for new car drop-off and bus drop-off. Proposed to alleviate traffic on Graydon Avenue for the East Troy Middle School. Property located at 3143 Graydon Avenue bearing tax parcel number RXUP 00202 East Troy School District, Christopher Garrity, AIA Performance Services, Inc., Agent Application 2025-10. I think we know what this is. Any questions on that?
I will make a motion to approve the site plan of operation request for East Troy Community School District for the property located at 3143 Graydon Avenue, subject to the following conditions, 1 through 26.
Second.
Okay. You guys good with those conditions? Anybody here from the school district?
I would just want to add that the condition regarding the lighting plan has actually been addressed. Chris
Okay.
Garrity has gotten me a lighting plan that meets the village's standards.
Okay.
The plan is to have some pole-mounted lights in the parking lot, 4 of those that are each have 3 Cobra-style heads on them, and then there'll be 2 wall packs on the building that'll be added as well. So the parking lot will be well lit, meeting the village's requirements. And then I just want to point out there's a suggestion for enhancements to the existing pedestrian crosswalk. That's not a condition of the approval. The Plan Commission would actually have to make that a condition of the approval if you want to see it. And the suggestions were for zebra striping and then to just reuse those existing pedestrian crossing signs that are out there already for the crosswalk that's going to go away. And not being a traffic engineer, however, those could be safely implemented without disturbing the stop signs that are already out there at that crosswalk that's going to remain. The idea behind the both of these ideas is, again, just to call more attention to the crosswalk that's going to be the main pedestrian crossing between the schools now.
Is there other crosswalks between the school that need to be addressed so they're all similar, or is this the only one?
So there's another crosswalk currently that's going to be removed due to the extension of the bus drop-off lane. And that would be the one on the east end. This one on the west end is going to be the only one remaining. There originally was a proposal for a mid-block crosswalk to be added in front of the main entrance to the middle school, and there were some concerns from staff and the police department about having a mid-block crosswalk because there have been some issues with the existing mid-block crosswalk that's going to be removed. And so the compromise here is to just focus on this one that's at a controlled stop sign area.
Anything else you want to add? You good? Those are all the discussions that we had. Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments? We have a motion and a second.
Do we,
Do you want to add, do we want to add the condition?
yeah, I was just going to ask if we had
motion?
to add the condition for that.
Yeah, so do you want to amend the motion?
I will amend the motion to include the crosswalk improvements. Recommend by staff.
I'll second that. Okay, any questions or discussion on the amendment? Okay, on the amendment, all's in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Okay, on the amended motion, any questions or discussion on that? All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay. Item 3, site plan amendment to shift the development approximately 50 feet west due to determination for the WDNR, allowing the elimination of retaining walls and stormwater pipe previously required to build around the wetland area for approximately 130,000 square foot new industrial building for light assembly and storage associated with the prefabrication of panels, electrical conduit components, and tooling packages for property located at bearing tax parcel number RA 5122000002, MP Systems, Inc., Christopher Winsler, Bryan Building Corp., Agent, Application 2025-11. So, Oren, you want to walk us through this?
Yes, so the original approval for MP Systems, Inc. Included the preservation of approximately 2,900 square foot wetland on the property. They were going to fill one of the wetlands and preserve the other one. And in order to design around the one they were preserving, there was going to be some retaining wall that was built, and then they were going to, in order to have room to still have their outdoor storage, they were going to enclose the ditch on the east end of the property with stormwater pipe. And subsequent to the approval, they've now got this DNR letter that is going to allow them to not have to do that. And so the idea now is that they will fill the second exempt wetland and shift the building closer to the road, to the west, and not have to do those other improvements. So same great development 50 feet further west.
Questions from the commission?
So everything's going to stay the same except a shift in the building. The building's staying the same, the whole layout's staying the same, it's just shifting
Yep.
over.
Yep, and then the one difference is that they aren't preserving that wetland anymore. So all of the conditions of approval are basically the same, except this now references tonight's meeting date and the plans that are in your packet that reference the development shifting. We do have Joe Jernis here, if there are any questions from Bryan Development.
I'll make a comment when you talk about preserving the wetland. We always,
Sorry, just because we have people watch the streaming.
Joe Drusenis with Bryan Building. There we go, I'm live. All right. Joe Drusenis with Bryan Building. So we never wanted to preserve the wetland. It's not a really good quality wetland either. There's like some junk and some batteries. I think there's a car in there. We were only preserving it because it exceeded the amount of square footage of wetland we could fill in with the general fill permit. The DNR is making an exception. So it's much better for the whole development to kind of move it forward, closer to the road. There's no like species in there or anything like that that we're trying to preserve. So it's kind of a garbage wetland that we're filling in and probably going to make the whole property look better too. Any questions?
The endangered car battery. Any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the site plan of operation request for MP Systems, Inc. for the property located at South Executive Drive, subject to the following conditions, 1 through 23.
I'll second that.
All right, questions or discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for. Yeah, yeah. That's great. All right. Recommendations for future agendas: two-family residential planned land use category, tiny homes as accessory uses in residential zoning districts, revise application requirements for rezoning petitions, potential regulations, information related to front yard setbacks and side-loaded homes.
We just today noticed a public hearing for the 16th at the village board for the two-family residential item. So that will be back before you with the draft resolution at our next meeting on June 9th. So that will be in order for you all to review it and make a recommendation to the board.
So we'll get to mark that one off in June. All right. Any other items? Okay. Next meeting will be June 9th. It will be needed apparently at 6:30. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Have a good evening. Enjoy the weather.